Alright boys, we just finished our first run for the day on challenge mode, and chances are I'm probably not gonna run it again unless there's some new teams I kind of find discover or whatever it is. But here we are again, number 7th in the rankings, 2.5, which is funny because last blacksmith, our first try, also was 7th place even though it's 1.5 bill. Well, here we are again at 2.5. Anyway, so I'll talk about the teams, but just before I go right there, just make sure that you've watched the previous video because that's where I talk majority of the mechanics, and majority of the mechanics actually do count in the same way as in challenge mode, but I'll talk about a few of the other things that we might have missed. In particular, alright, let's first talk about this first part where at the very beginning you guys notice where the boss is going to be targeting. There's like a target icon on which unit it is, and right there. So what happened there is the boss targeted my Summer Mary. It's gonna be difficult to see, but you can see that her HP got low. For some reason her cover and her HP got low, and the main reason for that is because the targeted lasers are actually not just a single instance of hit, it's actually multiple instances of hit. And what happens is she got caught during her shooting and going into cover, and so half of the damage went into the cover and half of the damage went into her. It is actually, I think I've seen it possible where you actually completely negate it, but in general, to make it easier, just do this and swap. I like playing on manual where I don't have auto target on, and just manually swap whoever's getting targeted and then like take cover, so that you will take cover on that and the whole cover will guard it. And it should be a pretty straightforward on that one. It's pretty nice because you don't get hit that much, but you want a balancing act between tanking that damage and taking cover if you have, because you have a healer. Like in this situation, I'm using the water team and I have Summer Mary, and you want a balancing act where you tank the damage. Especially with your Summer Mary, when she bursts, she gives you a max HP up, so you're able to tank that damage, and then you'll also get some heal. So I think it's fine to tank some of those lasers while you're getting damaged. So, and then you can just heal that off, because if in some teams, especially when you don't have like litter or recover damage, right, then your cover can only tank so much, so you gotta watch out for that. Second point that I want to talk about is the QTE. I didn't really talk about it on the previous video, but I will expand on it. So the white things, these white circles, they spawn in order. You can keep track of the order that they go. So this one went middle, right, and then middle, and then a little bit on the right, and then left, and then right. That's kind of how I keep track of it in my mind also. It's like middle, right, left, right, left, and it helps me keep track, because the next part where the red things are, the red circles, they're gonna shoot in order, and there are 6 of them. And you know what's also 6? Your rocket launcher or sniper rifle's default ammo count. So you can actually, even without full burst, you can actually handle that burst just fine. So even though this team doesn't have cooldown reduction, because I know where the circles are, also I can just prepare, shoot, get ready. Look, I'm preparing all my shot like right where it exactly is getting at, right? Hey, listen, you're capping right now. Look at that. Look. Hey, I'm doing it fine. What do you mean? What do you mean? What was that? What do you mean cap? What are you guys capping at, huh? Anyways, that's some God Gamer skills. Pog champ, yeah, right? And then, so another thing is rocket launchers. If you shoot in the middle, you will hit both legs. Typically, I think, as far as I noticed though with this team, Vesti is able to destroy both legs just as the half-minute point mark for this, so it actually works out just well. Like Vesti is able to just solo it, and my Vesti is not very invested. She doesn't have any overloads and she's only a 444, so very low investment unit, and she's able to destroy both legs, which is pretty standard, and it's actually nice because it just works out just enough. And this is my water team. I'll talk more about my different teams later. Another thing is, like, in this water team, at this halfway point when the mom starts spawning, something that some of you are probably excited for. I normally don't burst in this team, I burst with Vesti and Sugar, but in this scenario, hey, listen, you guys that are coping, hey, right there, I actually use Summer Neon's burst to clear the stage, and yeah, there you go. You guys happy now? There's your Summer Neon copium for those of you. But normally I don't burst with Summer Neon. She was losing damage for me, and so there it is. Now next part is, let's say that if you guys don't end up like not able to destroy these, hopefully one of these teams that I have also that I'll talk about also is the litter team, and this one has kind of bad clearance. You could do it where you time your burst when the mobs are there, or in this situation I just kind of I wasn't able to destroy all of them, and I ended up just using the cover instead, but it's fine. I have also Rapunzel to kind of heal my team rest, and there you go. So that's another way to kind of deal with that AoE mobs. If for some reason you cannot kill those mobs, you use cover. And so in that situation, you want to make sure that before getting into that point, you want to try to save some cover instead if you know that your team cannot handle clearance. Alright, now let's talk about the team that I actually worked on. Here we go, let's go. And the 2.5 build team, starting off with the first team I started with. I went from my weakest to strongest, but this first team is the water team. This water team, this is the damage that it happened, and lo and behold, the number 2 damage is Sugar. Water team, but Sugar was just kind of helping Viper out. Sugar can be replaced with like Brid, and they were doing roughly the same damage, so I just went with Sugar instead. And Summer Neon, yeah, she dealt the lowest damage out of all the attackers, so yeah, there you go. And that team dealt 244,000. Now let's move on to the second team. I went with this one. I went with Miranda, Scarlet, Helm, Dala, Modernia, and obviously I'm bursting with Scarlet and Helm. Helm is my healer, and the reason for this one is really I could use volume and guilty, and this team would have been fine also that way, as long as it has like a cooldown reduction. And what I did is I manually spam with Helm so that she can trigger as much of her skill down. Skill 1 is critical rate increase, and other than that, she is like a great healer. You don't need a lot of investment on Helm, and otherwise this is a pretty straightforward team. The same techniques that we have talked about in the previous videos, and the one that I just talked about just now, do that. Third team, let's go. Actually, and to talk about this second team, damage, I did 400,000 on this team, and the investment for them is this one. I only have 1 overload on Scarlet, God bless me, and 3 overload on Modernia with really bad overload. Yeah, so there's the reason why this is my 4th team. And yeah. Anyways, So let's go with my third team here. And this is the third team. This is the infinite ammo team, and as you guys remember, we have talked about it previously in one of the videos, the unlimited team ammo setup. And this is my unlimited ammo team, and it's for good reason. The main reason for that is because I have a lot of overload with max ammo here. I have 1 max ammo on my diesel, however max skill 2 on her, and then my Drake has around 100% max ammo. My guillotine has 120% max ammo, and then my guilty has 90%. Actually, she got an extra max ammo, so it's not just 90% now, it's 150% max ammo now. And so this is the unlimited ammo team comp, and I talked about it in this video. Go check that out if you guys haven't yet. And there are the substitutes I talked about here. I have this one, this in the guide, this Union Raid guide. I have this one, and in general, the setup on that one is any DPS with max ammo. You can swap it out if you don't have volume guilty. You can use pepper Dala instead, and it's very interchangeable on what team you can use as long as they have max ammo. That's kind of like the setup that I go with. I'll talk about other substitutes if you guys cannot have like this setup. Obviously, I'll be right back on that one. And the team that this team did damage is actually 368,000, but actually we did some of the units died early, and I feel like the way the fight went was not very optimal, and I think we could have gotten like a 450,000 on that one. So that is my team 3. Now, fun part, my team 2. Let's go with this one. Here we go. So here is my team 2. It's the Snow White Maxwell litter novel comp, and it's a pretty strong comp. This is the overall damage that they did. Did I show my other damage team? Yeah, my Scarlet team was this one, because my Scarlet was getting buffed by Miranda. This is my unlimited ammo team. My guillotine did the most damage, guilty second, Drake is third, and the other two are kind of just like support, diesel for the max ammo, and then volume for just the cooldown reduction. And then this one is our Snow White team, where my Snow White did 415,000 million, I mean, well, but obviously my Snow White is fairly invested. If you let's show these them in general. I have a full overload litter, full overload Snow White, full overload Maxwell, and triple overload on novel, albeit there's no max ammo in it, so it was actually kind of pointless. I need max ammo to make it a little bit more useful, but overall these are the skills. Also, this is a very invested team, and so if you're trying to reach that much damage, that's something to consider as well. But the way I did this team is it's a pretty easy team. You can target the legs, and you can hit both the body and the legs. Some people's the thighs, basically the thighs. So just target that a little bit, the upper legs, target that, and you can hit the body and the body and the main body and the body part. So you get double damage whenever you burst with Snow White and Maxwell. And that's the general gist of it. With litter, you gotta make sure to release Snow White fast enough while you have litter's buff. That's pretty much kind of like the general gist of it. But otherwise, this is a pretty simple, straightforward, easy team comp, which because you have litter that will restore your cover, and then Rapunzel that will heal you. It's a relatively easy part, and as you know, as I shown earlier, you can use the cover to, if you cannot destroy the mobs in time, you can just use cover because you have litter, and then for the rest of the fight, Rapunzel can just heal you. So that's my second team, and that second team did 700 million damage. And now my first team, my highest DPS one, is the Dorothy Bunny Girls Alice Privity, and and this is kind of like the damage that they did. And if you guys are wondering also, oh amazing, we have another video talking about how to play Alice really well. Optimal Alice, 99% charge speed. This is talking about that, and my Alice is pretty well invested. This is my team. We have lots of investment on this team, also lots of overloads, and the skills, as you can see here, very like pretty much optimized, invested, so that's something to consider as well. And yeah, otherwise this team, you can use Alice to do double shot on both legs and the main body as well, so that's why you only need Alice here. And with that, just it's a pretty straightforward team comp that doesn't need that much maintenance in terms of like survivability. This is a probably the highest survivability team, apart from the second team as well with Litter and Rapunzel. But this team can just kind of heal themselves with blank, and then Alice has a self heal. And then maybe if you want to alleviate some of the healing, just take cover when you're getting shot by the laser. So that's thing. And then yeah, this team did 836 mil, and grand total of all of these, I managed to get 2.57 bill right here. There are other substitutes that I can talk about. Another team that you can use is like a pure shotgun team, Pepper with Dala, Guilty, Drake, and Sugar. That's pretty much like the standard shotgun team. And there's other substitutes, obviously. I think these are the optimal substitutes, really. If you want to use the bunny girls for some reason, maybe you don't have any other teams that you could use the bunny girls on, that's another team you could probably use. And yeah, and I will link also this guide, which I have written down like the different team comps that you could use. There's these ones: Pierce Team 2, Snow White Team 2, Infinite Diesel Team. This is something that I recently have. There's also the 5-second burst team, where it will actually use 2 cooldown reduction units plus probably Vesti and Isabel. You could actually use, I could see this using like another B1 healer with Sakura, so that way you're not like using too much. You could use that Sakura and then a B1 healer here for the flex. And yeah, that's a 5-second burst team. And then rocket launcher team, you can split this up. You can use La Plus, power. There's this thing. I think that you only really need 1 rocket launcher, but maybe 2 actually is fine, because I mean, I guess I was using Vesti with water, so she was maybe able to solo it. But if your La Plus and power were less invested, you could use that as well. And then the water team, there's these different substitutes that you could do: Viper and Vesti Brid with Mary and Summer Neon. And you can just flip-flop them. Different teams that I used Sugar, but you could use Vesti, and maybe if you don't have any, you could use Dorothy also with Privity and Helm, and with Viper and whoever, Summer Neon, who knows, whichever ones you could use. Scarlet, Modernia, and really Scarlet and Modernia, you can actually really slot them anywhere or wherever you want to use them, really. If you have anything anywhere, I wrote down just DPS or flex, you could slot them in here as well. But yeah, these are the ones that are, I think, people have used and have managed to successfully finish the raid, got some good points in here. You could also use like Biscuit and Polly, or Arya, Biscuit, Christmas and a 20-second burst too. For yeah, there's just different teams that you could use. But yeah, other than that, make sure to go check all of these things out. I will stream probably the other runs if I could see that, or otherwise yeah, just make sure to check the Twitch chat if you are want to see me more live trying to figure all of these things out. I wrote this down before the stream, so I did it for you guys. What rank am I? I am wow, I got, okay, you know what, cut that. We were 7th. We had the screenshot, it was 7th. Okay, listen chat, like, listen. Okay, no, here, I am number 7. Got it. Easy. Yep, number 7. Easy.